If you just Google how many revenue streams does the average millionaire have? The average millionaire has 7 or 8 different ways of making money. Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Excited to chat with you today. Trying to decide what we're going to name this episode. It could be called The Problem with Making Money in Only One Way. It could also be called If You Are Someone Who Really Needs Security, ... Could also be called The Way to Get the Most Security in Your Business. So we'll see where the team lands. But I'm going to tell you just a little bit of life story, just a little bit of life story. And there's going to be some of you that can relate, some of you that do not. But I'm trying to just basically prove the point of why it's so important to make money in more than one way, and how you can do that. Okay, so let me just say this. So I am a girl who really likes having options. Okay, I like having backup plans to plans. I really like and need security. Okay, so let me just say that. Um, I like knowing that I have, within my ability, a way to protect myself and my family against, crazy things that could happen in the world. I like knowing that if email, I have email if social media has gone down. You guys have heard me talk about that, right? That's why I always talk about never put all of your eggs into just one social media basket. I like knowing that if a bank was, to shut down or something, like we have cash in the bank. I like knowing that, if cash is for some reason no longer working, and I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here, I'm just saying, like, I like having plans just in case, like we have things we can borrow. Okay. My husband is making sure that we are well taken care of. So I want you to know that as I start this conversation, because there's going to be some of you who can really relate to my life story. Even if I don't go into detail, you can read between the lines, et cetera. Okay. So because of some of the ways that I was raised, past hurts, traumas and things, I don't like being caught off guard. I don't like surprises. Um, and so a lot of times things that happened, and I'm not blaming, like there's no blame game here. Okay. Like I'm good. My family's good. My parents are good, all the things. But because of some things in my upbringing, um, finding things out along the way in my upbringing, um, even though I'm like a healed woman, I'm still a human woman. All right. So sometimes based on things that have happened to us in the past, our childhood, like we grow up and we have some needs that are maybe like higher than other people. Okay. So I really have security and stability as one of my like core needs as a human. And praise God, my husband like completely understands this. So if you look at like the DISC personality profile, I'm a high S on there, which means I really like stability. I like security. It's just like a deepest need of mine. And even past childhood, I've had some things happen in my life. So in my early 20s, my home was robbed by somebody I knew and trusted. And so that, has kind of um, led to even more of a need for like feeling as though I can control some things again to my ability. I know ultimately I'm not in control. Like, don't comment here on my YouTube. Like, I thought you were a Christian. Leave it to God. Okay. Yep. We do actually need to leave things to God and then get up and actually do something in partnership with him. Okay. So there's that. But yeah, having my house been emptied out while I was away one day, like that will cause a few trust issues. Just not gonna lie. In addition to that, like I've been laid off from a full-time job before where I was very surprised by that. Did not see it coming. Jason has been let go before, like right before Christmas, missed out on his fourth quarter bonus, his end of the year bonus. And we have small kids. Like we've gone through some of those things that just felt like, wha-bam. Okay. And so if you are watching on YouTube, will you let me know below? First, that you like my cold shoulder. Second, that you understand what I'm talking about, like things that just hit you and you didn't see them coming and you really didn't have a plan for it. Jason and I have been broke. We've had money. We've been broke again and had money again. And so like, I don't like that roller coaster. And so wanting and needing security applies not only to like my personal life, but to business as well. Okay. So So I want to talk about like needing security and what you can do to get some security in your business in that context. But I feel like I needed to kind of share with you just a little bit of like my story because security might not be important to you. And with that being said, like I feel like I have a relatively decent tolerance for the unknown in terms of investments and real estate and things like that. But I also like to know that we have things to fall back on. And so when we're talking about business and like security, one of the things that I take very seriously is like, how can I protect what we have built? How can Jason and I put some things in place in the event things would ever go south or change? And I do think that this is good stewardship. And I think that the idea of stewardship is just not talked about enough. Okay. And so if you look at like, okay, what does stewardship mean? Well, if you look at it if you like ask Siri, hey, give me the definition, Siri's gonna start talking now, of stewardship. As a Christian, it means like responsibility, duty, even obligation as a believer to protect what God has given you. And I don't think that that's talked about enough. Because when you're like, so I'm looking at this business that's making millions of dollars a year, and we've got a lot of kids and people that depend on us, and I've got employees. And so, like, how do I protect that? How do I steward well the business that God has given me? And so, um, that's what I want to talk about today. One of the biggest ways I think that you protect and steward well your business is to make sure that you don't have all of your eggs in one basket in terms of how you're making money. You need a plan B and a plan C. Okay. And the thing is, like, I even kind of applied this to life before I had a business. So back when I worked in corporate America in my early 20s, I had a full-time job. I worked at an insurance company. And again, I was young, but then I also did a part-time job nights and weekends at a restaurant as a hostess and a waitress as a bartender. Turns out I am a horrible bartender. Side note, horrible bartender, because literally people would try to tell me their problems and I would be like, your problem is you're sitting here at the bar. Like if you would just go home. So see, I was already coaching people, like even as a bartender, but I think I was a really good waitress and hostess. And that's actually where I met my husband. And so, then like later when I owned my painting company, the Magic Brush here in Kansas City, I also started doing like painting consultations. I would charge like $300 for a 30-minute paint consultation over a Zoom call or a FaceTime. I started being an affiliate for like a paint brand. So I would promote their paint. I would get paid from them. I started doing things like sponsored content, which means there was like a paintbrush company that paid me like $500 to do a Facebook Live, or Hobby Lobby would pay me to go into their store and do live videos. I was getting paid by Pier 1 and TJ Maxx to do sponsored content. So I had like, even then, like different ways of making money. And now I have like my courses. I have a mastermind. I have a monthly group where we talk about marketing and how to build your email and how to build your social media, and also how to use my software, Equip 360, to do those things. I still do make a little bit of affiliate income. I've got my book, Fear's Not the Boss of You, that makes money. We have 2 Airbnb/VRBOs, Bougie on the Beach, Bougie in the Desert. And we've got Jason's golf apparel company called Fairway Finest. So we have like lots of like different things going on. And I know that there are some people that would look at that and they'd be like, oh my gosh, like that's overwhelming. Nope. It actually feels very secure to someone who needs security. And the truth is, if you just Google how many revenue streams does the average millionaire have? The average millionaire has 7 or 8 different ways of making money. They have 7 or 8 different incomes. It's not just from one place. It's that they've got money coming in from stocks, and they've got real estate investments, and they have this thing over here, and they have this thing over. Like there's usually multiple ways. And what I think is really cool is when like Google and scripture are in alignment. So like when Bible and then like what Siri says, like match up. So in Ecclesiastes 11:2, it says, give a portion to 7 or even 8 things, because you do not know what disaster may happen on earth, and divide your investments among many places. Basically, that means like you need to have different ways of bringing things in, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And so if you're thinking about that inside of the context of you being a business owner, even if you don't have a business, like this is your call to start one, to have a side gig, to have a side hustle, so that if and when you get laid off from something, or your husband does, and you're, staying at home full time, or you get some additional expenses, so you're not scrambling. So you're not like, caught with your pants down. for lack of a better way to say it. If you have a business, like you need more than just one revenue stream. You literally do. If you have a day job, I think that you should have something you do on nights and weekends that where you play, you make a little bit of extra money. Because that's what I was doing when I worked, like I was doing software development for a telecom company. And I had this painting company that I was playing with on the nights and weekends. When I got laid off from that day job, it was very easy for me then to go, okay, well, I've already got this thing started. I've been kind of playing with it. I've been kind of toying with it. Like, let's go all in and see what happens. I'm a firm believer that if you have a day job, you should still have something you're playing with on nights and weekends. And I'm not saying that that means working 16 hours a day. I'm saying just another plan in case. In case. Okay. If you have already started a business, like, then what could you do to branch out or maybe add another revenue stream? Now, inevitably, and I'm sorry if you're hearing the doorbell right now, inevitably, what happens? It's the UPS man. And I guarantee you that he is delivering a birthday gift for my husband, whose birthday is tomorrow. And it's these golf balls. Can I tell you about this? Let me know in the comments on YouTube if you've seen these. It's these golf balls that when you hit, they're kind of like a prank ball, apparently, because you hit them and it sounds like almost like a, I don't know, like a gunshot or like a firework going off. So anyhow, he's taking a golf trip and I thought that would be fun to get him. Okay, so there's that. It's coming in the nick of time since his birthday is tomorrow. There's nothing like being last minute. But back to like when I'm coaching women a lot of times and I'll say like, how can you add another revenue stream? I'm not talking, by the way, about like shifting industries. Okay. I'm talking about how can you continue to have your focus on the same industry, but just add another way of bringing in money in that industry. So like when I had a painting company, I did painting consultations on a one-on-one basis, but it was still in the industry of painting. Okay. I painted in my painting company, and then I started a membership group for people that wanted to learn how to paint. So same industry, just like different packaging, different ways to like package up my talent, different ways, like a different avenue or path to make money. And then I was painting, doing painting consultations. I started a painting group and I was selling DIY painting videos, like just the, not the, like not like a DVD, but originally it was just all online. So again, same industry, just different avenues, different packaging. Okay. So, you need to figure out another way if you have a business of like maybe teaching others how to do the thing that you do. So if you run a super successful boutique, boy, I almost said something weird there. A super successful boutique, say that 10 times. Could you teach others how to do that? If you have a bookstore and you only sell books like in person, could you maybe add that online component? If you make watercolor cards that you sell on Etsy, could you teach, and I'm thinking of Jennifer Savage from Cordially Creative right now. She's in my mastermind. Like she teaches a watercolor course. She teaches people how to do watercolors and then she sells her watercolors. Like, can you somehow start like a monthly group, a membership, or maybe even a subscription box to whatever product line you're already selling? So again, it's like the same industry. It's not that you're teaching people how to get their babies to sleep at night and then also starting a course for how to apply makeup after the age of 50. It's like it needs to be in the same industry. If you had a brick and mortar that sells physical products, for example, like flowers, let's say you have a floral shop. Could you teach people how to start a floral shop, how to open up their first floral shop? Could you teach people outside of the community you live in how they can make their own floral arrangements for their own home? Could you have like a DIY night at your floral shop where you teach people how to make arrangements? Could you start a monthly flower box subscription? Like those are all ideas. If you have a business already that's like a service-based business, like I did, like I had my painting company, could you somehow educate people or teach people the skill or teach them the business? Like, let's say you have an at-home daycare, okay? Could you teach people how they could open their own at-home daycare? You could do one-on-one consulting where you just, get paid for an hour of your time. They pay you 400, 600 bucks for an hour of your time and you give them everything that they need to know. And then they've like, jumped the line, essentially. They've figured out some things much quicker. If you If you have a service-based business, could you somehow like offer a monthly component to it? Like, have you guys seen how many car washes are now having like you get a car wash card, you buy it for a year at a time, and you get monthly car washes. There are doctors' offices that are even going to that, where you pay a certain amount a month, you get one visit a month, anything more than that you pay for. Like, there's so many things going to that monthly subscription. And you already belong to a bunch of monthly subscriptions. If you have Netflix, if you get any food from like HelloFresh, if you have a gym membership, that's a monthly subscription. Could you do something that's a monthly subscription? There are monthly subscriptions for every industry under heaven. I mean, my friend Brian Dixon, his son has like a Lego group. Um, Tara Wall, who's in my mastermind, she has a business, a brick and mortar called Consider the Fields, and she offers a t-shirt of the month club. My friend Steven Diaz, he was a guest here on the podcast a couple months ago. He got really, really good at selling products on Amazon. So then he started like a course on how you could sell things on Amazon. Do you know what I mean? It's like the same industry, product sales, but now it's educating. So could you start a monthly group that's like educating people? If you work with people one-on-one, like let's say you're an interior designer, you're a decorator, could you start a decorating group? Or could you launch a course on how do you remodel a kitchen for under $1,000? Like, I want you to think about what you already do and how could you like change the methodology, change the delivery of that? Let me give you one more example. I did talk earlier. I mentioned like if you're a dog walker, okay? Let's say you are a dog walker. Could you be a consultant and just like take on a few one-on-one people and teach them how they could open up their own dog walking business? Now you might be thinking, I don't know anybody that wants to do that. Yeah, but you're thinking of your own town, your own community, your own neighborhood. When you get it online, then you could like offer it to everybody in the country, right? Maybe you could start a Facebook group for other dog walkers, not a free one. We're not working for free here, okay? But it's like they pay to get into your group, and you do have the Facebook component. Where you allow all these other dog walkers in, and they share ideas, they share business knowledge, you're doing some teaching, etc. Maybe you could start a paid group for dog owners and just teach them how they can be better dog owners or better dog walkers. You could create a course teaching people how to start their own dog walking business. You could write an ebook and have it on Amazon about like all of your dog walking adventures. Perfect for dog lovers everywhere. You could work with like very high-end luxury type clients where you have a very high touch service at a premium cost. Maybe you walk the dogs twice a day and you walk them on a particular path, and you also make sure that they run a little bit or whatever. You could get a bunch of people together in the neighborhood that you live in and do a dog walking group and like live meetups or something. Like, think of whatever industry you are in right now and what could you add to it for additional security, for better stewardship. That's the same industry, just like a different delivery. This is what can give you options. This is what can give you security. This is what can insulate you from changes in the market, changes in the economy, changes in, whoever's in the White House. This is what insulates you from changes in your industry, from changes on social media. When you have options, friends, because it just allows you to move, pivot so much easier and to make so much more because you have different revenue streams. So listen, there are so many more reasons that I could go into in depth about why having security and stability in my business is so important to me. But what I want you to know is that I think that it is wisdom to make sure you're making money in more than one way. I think it's biblical. And in the year 2024, I think it's necessary. So let me help you add another revenue stream to your current business, or to start one from scratch, or start several from scratch. My Better Way program is open right now. You can go to betterwayprogram.com and see how I can help you. We have not had a forward-facing launch on this since last fall. So I would love to see you there, betterwayprogram.com, where I teach you beginning to end everything you need to know about starting one-on-one coaching, starting a paid group, like group coaching, a membership group, or how to plan and then start and launch a course. And so I would love to help you with all those. Again, it's at betterwayprogram.com. I would love to help you there. I hope this was helpful, friends. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Easton, did you hear the ding bell? I don't remember which of you kids used to call it a ding bell instead of a doorbell, but it stuck.